لبيك لبيك لا شريك.
National HAJJ Commission has made the necessary for your comfort.
The preparation is very good.
I'm very happy, extremely happy, because this is my first time.
And I prepare to follow the rules and regulations given to me.
اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك له. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. I am Rashida Abubakar wishing you happy Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Once again, glad to have you on the program as you answer the call. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has put to rest speculations surrounding the cost of this year's Hajj, when it's announced about a fortnight ago the cost for the different states and zones. But the question is, how did the Commission arrive at these figures, especially when there are differences in the fares payable by pilgrims across different centers? Our Spotlight segment will provide insights. Also in the program is Making the Hajj, and the discussion tonight is on how intending pilgrims should prepare for the Hajj. Still in the package, we have other regular segments such as NAHCON News Diary, which highlight the activities of NAHCON and other stakeholders in the Hajj industry. The quiz segment will also come up in the course of the program. Stay with us.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. As usual, we'll begin the program with the news diary. Topping the lineup, NAHCON management congratulates Muslims on Eid al-Fitr. This and more shortly. Don't go away.
The management of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has called on Muslims to manifest the lessons of Ramadan in marking Eid al-Fitr. NAHCON Commissioner of Operations HAJJ Abdullahi Magaji Hardawa and that of Policy, Personnel Management and Finance Alhaji Noura Hassan Yakasai stated this in their separate Salah messages on behalf of the Commission's Chairman Alhaji Zikirullah Kunle Hassan.
I wish to congratulate all the Muslim Ummah who were opportune to witness the beginning and the end of this year's Ramadan period. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala confer upon all of us the privileges and the benefits of the month and the devotion we went through. May Allah accept our ibadah. And I wish to also reiterate to the general public that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria is committed towards ensuring a peaceful and successful Hajj exercise this year. May Allah support us in that respect.
May Allah make us to see more and more of Eid al-Fitr. Also at the same time, I want to use this opportunity to remind all those that intending pilgrims that they have paid some deficit, that the days that they should complete some their deposit so that they can complete their Hajj fare. I believe that it has come and they should ensure that they have completed it as just has been requested by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
On his part, NAHCON Commissioner of Planning, Research, Information Statistics and Library Services, Sheikh Suleiman Momo, called on Muslims to pray for Nigeria while not relenting in practicalizing the lessons of the Ramadan fast.
And I call on them to pray for this country very seriously, pray for the outgoing government and pray for the incoming government to succeed. Nigeria is ours, and it's our collective responsibility to make it a better place. So in the spirit of Ramadan and the lesson derivable from it, let us imbibe and then work together to ensure that Nigeria succeeds.
NAHCON further reiterated its commitment to airlift all pilgrims duly registered for the forthcoming Hajj. In other news, the executive chairman of Yobe State Pilgrims Commission, HAJJ Aliyu Usman, says the commission will continue to strengthen its collaboration with the Nigerian Immigration Services for easy issuance of passports to pilgrims. HAJJ Aliyu Usman stated this when he played host to the State Controller of NIS, Mr. John Dashi, in his office in Damaturu, the state capital. He said any delay in securing passports for pilgrims will affect the Hajj airlift operations. Responding, the NIS Controller in Yobe State, Mr. John Dashi, says the visit is to cement ties and to improve on the synergy between the NIS and the Commission for a hitch-free Hajj exercise. In a related development, Executive Secretary of Nasarawa State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Idris Ahmad Al-Makura, solicited the support of security agencies in the state for a hitch-free Hajj operation. Al-Makura made the plea when he led officials of the board on a courtesy visit to the agencies. The security agencies visited are the Nigeria Police, Nigeria Immigration Services, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, and the Department of State Services, DSS. All the agencies assured the Pilgrims Board of their readiness to provide security during the 2023 Hajj exercise.
Alhamdulillah, if you're just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, sponsored by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, to keep you informed about the activities of the Commission and other Hajj-related matters. Embarking on the Hajj entails that pilgrims enjoy certain services in order to perform the Hajj rites comfortably. Largely, these services are rendered by Saudi agencies, while others are managed by Nigerian officials. The total sum of these services from the Hajj fair. In our next segment, Spotlight, we shall take you through the various components that add up to determine what pilgrims are paying for the pilgrimage. Keep watching.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك.
For the south and southeast, 2,968,000. Yes.
On Friday, the 7th of April 2023, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, announced fares for the 2023 Hajj. NAHCON Chairman Alhaji Zikrullah Kulle Hassan disclosed this while briefing journalists at the conference hall of the Hajj House. The Hajj fair announced has 8 different costs for states and zones. They are: the cost for northern centers, with the exception of Maiduguri and Yola, is 2,999,000 naira only. For Maiduguri and Yola, the fare is 2,890,000 naira. The amount for South-South and South-East centers is 2,968,000 naira. For Lagos, Ogun and Oyo states, the fare stands at 2,999,000 naira. Pilgrims from Ekiti and Ondo states are paying 2,880,000 naira. Edo State Hajj fare is fixed at 2,968,000 naira. Cross River State's pilgrims will pay 2,943,000 naira, while Osun State Hajj fare is 2,993,000 naira. The Hajj fare components contain all the services pilgrims are expected to enjoy during Hajj. The Hajj fare components include airfare ticket, accommodation in Mecca and Medina, feeding in Mecca, Medina and Mashair. Others are Mina and Arafat tents, transportation, as well as $800 basic travel allowance, among others.
These are basically these 5 things are the one that all the other ones are small ones. Of course, there is visa fee, there is a local component which has to do with the suitcases that we normally provide to the Hujjat. There is cost of uniform, there is administrative charges, but the basic one, the main one are these 5 or 6 that I mentioned to you: air ticket, Mashair, accommodation, Makkah and Medina, and the transportation.
The components making the Hajj fare are majorly US dollar related and constitutes about 98% of the total costs, while the remaining percentage is computed in Naira. To arrive at the price of each item, NAHCON, states, and other stakeholders adopted a number of strategies. This includes negotiating with service providers during the 2 phases of the pre-Hajj visits to Saudi Arabia,
We and also the State Pilgrims Welfare Board, we normally go to Saudi and we meet with the service providers, those that provide accommodation. Medina accommodation is responsible, NAHCON are responsible for Medina accommodation. So NAHCON will negotiate with the Medina accommodation and will get the price of the accommodation. For the Mecca accommodation, the State Pilgrims Welfare Board are responsible for that one, but we do it together with them to make sure that at least we normally screen the service provider to make sure that at least they provide quality accommodation for the pilgrims.
We met the Muassasa, those in charge of the Mashair, the 5 days activities of Hajj, those in charge of those arrangements. We met with them to get the cost and get our tent. We discovered that the tent they are providing for us this time around is a first-class one, given the fact that they have been upgraded as against what we used to know. And now they have provided facilities in it that as soon as you are inside, you forget that you're actually in a tent. It's been made accommodatable for pilgrims of Nigeria. And then we got prices, costs for all the services, which are a trigger component of the Hajj fare.
Like for the air ticket, actually there is a committee that we normally form with some government agencies that normally screen the airlines that apply there. Of course, before they apply, there is advertisement. There is a full procurement processes, advertisement, application, and all the rest. After that one, then there is a committee that normally the commission form, which is headed by the commissioner of operation. We have a representative, all people that has to do with aircraft, airline, and air services that are there. There is FAN, there is NCCA, there is Air Investigation Bureau, a lot of people, organizations. So those ones, they will form a committee, then they will screen all the applicants for the airline. I mean, those that want to airlift Nigerian pilgrims. In the process of the screening, after the screening, when they qualify, they also negotiate the price of the air ticket.
In the negotiation, we had earlier on requested NCAA to develop what could be sort of a benchmark to guide us in negotiating or engaging the airlines, which they did and had tremendously helped us in coming to a more realistic airfare.
What is obvious about the Hajj fare is the differences in cost from one center to the other. But why is it so?
The reason is simple, that this northern part are closer to Saudi Arabia, whereas you from Lagos be flying and spending 5 to 6 hours to Saudi Arabia. People flying from northeast will do it in less than 4 hours. And then those doing it from the northwest and all that, they'll be doing it in less than 4 hours, 30 minutes. So all these ones account for why the airlines charge different rates for pilgrims in various parts of this country.
The Hajj fare for Ekiti and Ondo is 2,880,000. This is the cheapest Hajj fare, while that of Lagos is the highest. That of Ekiti and Ondo is 2,880,000, which is the cheapest or the lowest. And the reason for that is simple. First of all, Ekiti and Ondo, they use Ilorin Departure Center, which is in the north. So they are paying air ticket for the northern state instead of air ticket for those that are flying or have been airlifted from the southern state. So this is one reason. Another thing why also it is lower like that is that most of them, the accommodation they got from those states is a little bit lower. I think they got it very, very low, around 3,000 Saudi riyal. So that makes it also a little bit cheaper for Ekiti and Ondo State, which is the lowest.
Executives of State Pilgrims Welfare Boards bear their minds on the 2023 Hajj fare.
It is relieving because our initial thoughts with the rise in cost of accommodation, the rise in the fall in the value of the Naira, we initially had the feeling that Hajj could be up to 3.3 million. But now that we have Hajj less than 3 million. MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah.
The Hajj fare is actually below our expectation. And not only us, even the pilgrims, some people believe that Hajj fare by this year will have been above 3 million naira. But thank God, through various efforts of the states and National Hajj Commission, the Hajj fare fall below 3 million naira.
Well, if you look at the reality that is happening in the world, the whole world, you realize that the National Hajj Commission has done its best to ensure minimization of this Hajj fare hike. And we take it with all good heart because we are part of decision making. We know how difficult it was to conclude on the set amount, which is not up to 3 million naira per a pilgrim. So this is very, very important for us.
While states are happy with the Hajj fare announced, NAHCON has called on them not to charge pilgrims extra money, as doing so, the Commission says, will be illegal.
Caution all the states to make sure that at least those Hajj fare that are approved by the Commission are the only one that should be collected. And we also call on the general public to make sure that at least they pay that amount. If any of the state is asking them to pay more than that, they should let us know, and we'll make sure that we will intervene, inshallah.
Similarly, NAHCON is leaving nothing to chance in ensuring that services are rendered in line with all contractual agreements.
We have some operational committees, a lot of operational committees. That is how we normally operate. And one of the jobs of this committee is to ensure that whatever services we paid for, that they make sure that they are exactly what we paid for. In terms of accommodation, we already know the accommodation. We know what we are expecting, the number of people that be in the room, we know them. If it is feeding, we know exactly the type of menu that we expected that we should do. So we're always doing it jointly with the state executives. We have our staff that we form into different committees that monitor all aspects of the Hajj operation.
In keeping with the usual practice, states, the FCT and armed forces are expected to remit to NAHCON account fares paid by intending pilgrims in order to allow for speedy completion of preparations.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
MashaAllah. Coming up next is Making the Hajj. Tonight, Dr. Khalid Ali will be discussing how pilgrims should prepare for Hajj. Let's hear him.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لبيك.
In preparations for the Hajj, intending pilgrims must get themselves ready and be in the frame of mind to discharge the Hajj rites properly. How then are pilgrims expected to prepare themselves before and during the Hajj?
وتزودوا, that you should get provision of preparation.
Tonight on Making the Hajj, Dr. Khalid Aliu answers this and other questions. He begins by explaining the spiritual preparations or the intention to go for Hajj.
وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ, and complete the performance of the rituals of Hajj for no any other consideration but for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One has to be prepared spiritually. One, your intention. In all the aspects of worship we perform, intention is cardinal. It's a pillar. Your intention, why do you want to go? It is a serious commitment between servant and his Lord Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Intending pilgrims must ensure that the source of money for the Hajj is lawful. They must also make available what their families will need for the period they will be away in the Holy Land. This is part of the financial preparations.
Really to avail himself of all responsibilities. If you have taken loan from other people, you have taken if you owe or you are being owed, then you have to settle whatever is a responsibility of others to you. It's very important. And that you cannot go for Hajj while your family at home have no food. You understand? You have to settle school fees. Nobody says that you take a loan and go for Hajj.
How should pilgrims prepare educationally?
You have to have the Islamic knowledge education preparation to know how to perform this Hajj, how to perform this. How is it performed? Into how many categories is Hajj divided? And what are the pillars of Hajj? What are the obligatory steps of Hajj? What are the sunnah steps of Hajj? What validates Hajj and what vitiates or invalidates my Hajj? These ones, one has to do them.
As much as they can, intending pilgrims should prepare themselves mentally, physically, and medically.
Who are not walking friendly, walk friendly, it is important. That is, then they should really have to start. And that medically it is said that at least in a day one takes at least 30 minutes walk. I mean some hundreds and hundreds or thousands of steps. Very important. Because to do the circumambulation, the tawaf, you know, is a very serious, to do the sa'i, which is going from Safa and Marwa, is also rigorous.
Similarly, seeking Allah's forgiveness and reconciling with those that may have been offended are also some of the requirements to be fulfilled by persons preparing to perform the Hajj.
Tawbah and istighfar, repentance to Allah and seeking for His forgiveness, because He is going for a spiritual journey. This is indeed very important. And that in the neighborhood, let him, for those whom he has wronged, let him ask for their understanding and for their pardon and so on, even to the family, to the kith and kin, the relationship and so on. Then he sets for this very important journey.
Most importantly, Dr. Khalid Aliyu points out, intending pilgrims must be conscious of Allah and also respect the rules and regulations governing the Hajj exercise.
Now it's time to know the winner of last week's quiz and the question for this week. Good luck.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, list 3 lessons embedded in performing the Umrah pilgrimage. The correct answer is 1. Allah's consciousness, 2. Humility, and 3. Unity of the Ummah. The winner is Murtala Hamisu from Kaduna State. He provided the answer ahead of others. He will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach him with the prize he won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's efforts in social investment in Nigeria. Now to the quiz for this week, and the question is, name 3 ways intending pilgrims should prepare for Hajj. Again, name 3 ways intending pilgrims should prepare for Hajj. Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of the sender. Good luck and happy viewing.
Once again, good luck to you. Up next are your messages. Abubakar from Ilorin, Kwara State sends in the first message. It says, I appreciate NAHCON for the preparation done so far on 2023 Hajj operation. Your program as you answer the call is very interesting and educative. Thank you. Muhammad Umar from Jeba, Niger State sends in the second message. It contains this prayer. May Allah reward the efforts of the entire NAHCON management and its staff, particularly the chairman of the commission, HAJJ Hassan.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
This is where we draw the curtain on today's program. See you same time next week with another edition of the program. But before we go, remember that you can send your messages, comments, observations, and questions through our mobile phone number and other social media platforms. Once again, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا